Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review. And I wanted to do a couple of movie reviews for the month of my birthday. Now I know it's been for anime month though, but I wanted to get a couple of movie reviews I wanted to get in before that. So before I finish off anime month, I wanted to review this film for a while, and as well as a sequel that came out last year. And so I'm finally get a chance to get around it. Finally I'm able to review of the big hit phenomenon that came out in 2015. That is which is the fourth installment in my all-time favorite franchise. Starting with my all-time favorite movie, Jurassic Park. Which is finally get to review of Jurassic World. So Jurassic World came out. It's already been 4 years since this came out, man. It seems like only yesterday. I remember the trailers came out in 2015. It was a freaking huge hit when this came out. It still blows my mind to this day that on its opening weekend, made over 200 million on its opening, 208 million on its opening weekend. To this, I still couldn't believe a film like this could just, which at the time, it made more than the first Avengers movie, which 2012, which made 207 million. So that barely just made over the first Avengers film on opening weekend. So I couldn't believe this film made over 200 million on opening weekend. And Jurassic World. Now, originally I was excited to see this because the Jurassic Park franchise is coming back. I've wanted to see a sequel for years, ever since Jurassic Park 3, from 2001. And for years, the film has been stuck in development hell due to script revisions, and couldn't get a proper one. But finally, at long last, I was looking forward to seeing it, and Chris Pratt was starring in the Jurassic Park franchise. Being fresh off, starring off in the first Guardians of the Galaxy. Originally I saw it the first time, I liked it, but now as time went on, before which I'll get to, the sequel, Fallen Kingdom, which I'll get to that though. Now my interest in this film is a little bit less now. It's sometimes one of the certain films you get excited for, but then all of a sudden it just kind of rises down just a bit, so. Yeah. I would say this is I would say to me this is the weakest in the franchise. To me it is. Now, first going on, my all-time favorite movie is Jurassic Park. It's a masterpiece, classic. Considered one of the best sci-fi films ever. And now with the sequels, The Lost World, I still do enjoy. It still gets crapped on though, but I still love The Lost World, Jurassic Park. I do. And of course, with the whole thing with the boat incident on San Diego, how that issue thing with the whole who killed the crew off, and the whole silly. I'll give the one silly thing, like I said, with Malcolm's daughter doing the gymnastics, it kicks the Raptor out the window. I still say that is still silly, though. I will still say that though. But the last of the film, I still grew up with that film, seeing it back in the day, and I still enjoy The Lost World. But that film still gets somewhat crapped on as well. But I disagree on that. And Jurassic Park 3, I still enjoy. That's also, I feel, is an underrated sequel as well. I watched that a lot of times, and my mother, she likes that film a lot too. And that's another one that gets crapped on. I still find it's underrated. I disagree with that. That it doesn't deserve to get crapped on. Now, to me, I think this is the weakest of the franchise. Now, in my opinion, it is. It is, but to me, in my opinion, which I'll get into this up, I will still say I think this was an improvement over Jurassic World. And I like Fallen Kingdom much more than this film did. And I'll explain to why when I get to this review of it. But that's all I'll say of it for now. But I'll also say a little bit of comparisons though. So, but to me, Fallen Kingdom is much better than Jurassic World. I just felt it definitely was an improvement over the previous one. So, but yeah, I will say I say that it's definitely the weakest, and I definitely have more issues with this now than I did when I first saw it. I was like, yay, but not so much no more. Sad to say. Like there's always gonna be a franchise that has no perfect movie. There's always gonna be the best, and there's gonna be a worst in every franchise. So yeah, even in my all-time favorite franchise, like the Jurassic Park franchise, there's always gonna be one that's gonna be the weakest. And I will say this is it. So yeah, but given the task at hand. It takes place it's years later now. The park, Isla Nublar, the first island in Jurassic Park, which, by the way, yeah, it completely ignores Site B. So the second and third film are completely ignored. So those those are out of the picture are out of the picture. So, but going back to the first island on Isla Nublar, the park is open now, and well, first off. The first issue I have is the CGI. It doesn't hold up to me. Well, first of all, the effects. That's one thing. Because, I think I'll compare in Fallen Kingdom is the effects. To me, the effects were much better than this did. So, but yeah, just the effects, especially when it opens up with the CG. With the egg and the baby coming out of it, which is become the Indominus Rex, a CGI baby. Yeah, Dad didn't care for that. And they were introduced to the two kids. The two kids who parents are getting divorced, and the mother, which I've seen her in other movies, Judy Greer. She plays the mother. She's been in other movies I've seen her in, like in Ant-Man. Like she was Paul Rudd's ex-wife who was dating the cop. So, but I've seen her in other movies. She was the mother, and she says I thought that was dumb when she says when they're leaving towards the island, she's like, "Oh, if a dinosaur chases you, run." Really, run? That's something we want to say to your kid. When a dinosaur chases you, you run. I mean, to me that was like a silly line anyway. And so they're on their way to the island, and if you pay close enough attention, they also have a nanny with them, like Bryce Dallas Howard's her associate, like watches after the two kids. If you look closely, I think the woman is reading a book by Dr. Malcolm, Jeff Goldblum's character. You see his character on the back of the book that he wrote. If you pay close attention, you probably see it's trying to be in continuity with the sequel, with the other previous films. So, and then they get there, and then you get then John Williams' classic theme, and there's the park. It's finally open. Now it's doing business. Which the park wasn't that much. It wasn't overall impressed. To me now, I wasn't impressed with the park. I mean, I was too busy caught up in hearing John Williams' classic, memorable theme of the Jurassic Park theme. So, and then when they go into the main building, I mean, okay, this is another thing I think is a dumb idea. Here we have that are outside the zoos, or whatever, the cages, wherever you see real dinosaurs, but in the building they have holographic dinosaurs. They can project holographic dinosaurs. I mean. Why, when you can just go outside and see real dinosaurs, why would you have holograms of dinosaurs in the building? And of course, we want to bring more callbacks to the first film. You see Mr. DNA, you know, when the Dr. Grant and the others were watching that video, you see Mr. DNA. And then we introduce to Bryce Dallas Howard's character. You know, Bryce Dallas Howard, like I said before, she's the daughter of director Ron Howard. She plays Claire. She's in most of the times she's basically in charge of the place. Well, except for that, there was that one guy who was like the rich guy who, I think, was he in? He was in Life of Pi, I think he was. I forget. But he's the one who, like, John Hammond, because now this time he's now passed away. You know, Richard Ambrose character. He's now passed on. He left, like, John Hammond's like, John Hammond, because he's doing helicopter lessons. He said, now, John Hammond's dying wish, there was something, you know, I forget the name. I forget the dialogue. And that's another thing. Mostly the dialogue in this film is not memorable, not from this movie. But yeah, was it Irrfan Khan? That's the guy's name who plays. What was the character's name? Otherwise, well, most of the characters are not memorable or forgettable either. So, yeah, Simon Mazarani is his name. Irrfan Khan, who's now like who's the guy in charge of Jurassic World, and Claire, Bryce Dallas Howard, is like just one of the higher ups there. And then she's talking with some like, I guess, investors. I was saying she goes and says like, oh, people are bored by dinosaurs now. They want something that's new and improved and something like that. I mean, people are bored by dinosaurs, so people are bored that have extinct animals been brought back after millions of years, and you think people are bored by seeing them? To me, as a dinosaur lover, I would kill to go see dinosaurs. I would not be bored at all. I mean, yeah, but she says that people are bored by dinosaurs now. We want something that's new. More teeth. And then you get B.D. Wong coming back as a little bit as Dr. once again playing Henry Wu from the first movie, which he only had a cameo in. But he comes back and he helped engineer the new dinosaur, the Indominus Rex. And then we introduced to Chris Pratt's character, who is Owen Grady. He was in the Navy, and they hired him, and he has trained Raptors, 4 of them. It was Delta, Echo, Charlie, and our main Raptor, Blue, because Blue has like blue stripe on her. So, I mean, I like Chris Pratt. He does good in the movie though, but at the same time, he's given nothing to do, sadly. So yeah, he doesn't do much in this movie, which I'll give another thing to Fallen Kingdom. He does more in this movie. By comparisons, he does more in here than he did in Jurassic World. And also another comparison with Bryce Dallas Howard's character. I did not care for her at all in this movie, in Jurassic World, but I think her character had improved in this movie. So, didn't care for her in this movie, but I ended up liking her in Fallen Kingdom. Probably says you gotta say that her character improved in this movie, and Chris Pratt got given more stuff to do. So yeah, well, he did more things there, but here Chris Pratt, he didn't do much in this movie, sadly. We see him train his Raptors. Vincent D'Onofrio was there, which I assume he would be a bad guy because 90% of the films he was in, he plays a villain. Well, I said 90% because, well, he was in 2016's Magnificent Seven, so he was a good guy there. He was one of the Magnificent Seven. So he's not a villain all the time, but most times he does play a villain. So he's there, he's observant, but he's within the company engine. And then back with the 2 kids, which I didn't care for, the kids. Well, like I said, the younger brother, he's upset because his parents are getting divorced, he's all crying, and the big brother, is basically being a douchebag anyway. He's just like, oh, stop crying, grow up, and basically. Especially speaking of, he's always looking at other girls, even though at the beginning he has a girlfriend, but yet he's over there, he's gawking at other girls, checking them out, and douchebag anyway. I didn't care for the two kids either way, so. And then more stupid stuff when the Indominus Rex, when the Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, they're gonna check out the Indominus Rex, and they can't find it. Its heat is gone, and which is another stupid thing, because we all know the Indominus Rex is a little mixed match of a DNA of various different animals. Well, mainly of a T-Rex, of course, and later Raptor, and including other genes from other animals. They won, like with B.D. Wong, he mentioned like a tree frog and cuttlefish. Like I think the hit from hitting from thermal technology, like can't see its heat. I think they came from the tree frog parts to adapt it to its environment. I think it was. So, but they don't bother mentioning this to not Chris Pratt, because he's not a scientist, and they said, Bryce Dallas Howard, you have no. She said that's classified. So yeah, don't even bother mentioning all this other stuff, So yeah, because you think of all this other stuff when I think what it was constructed from his DNA from, like with like with the first movie when Samuel debunked that the dinosaurs were bred from the DNA of frogs, right? And we figured but that took place in fact because because it made the dinosaurs start breeding, because it changed sex from male to female, which they knew about that, but it's sort of like they don't bother sharing. They made this thing, but mother DNA from other animals, but don't bother sharing it with it. And now because of this, they assumed it got out, and if it did get out, people would be screaming and running when a big dinosaur is many dinosaurs on the loose anyway. So that's another dumb thing. So, but anyway, they assume it's gone. They go back. They go in there. Chris Pratt goes in there, but Lowry, the comic relief, who's in the control room, says that it's in the cage still. It's still in the cage. So the thing is that it shows up. It grabs one guy, and then Chris Pratt, he gets into the car, and then the other guy that was with him, he gets chomped. And then they decided to hunt and capture it. They don't want to kill it because of money, like the guy Khan said, non-lethals, but the convoy gets there, the soldiers, they get there, and another stupid thing, which, yeah, okay, another mixture from DNA. It used cuttlefish, for camouflage, and this thing can camouflage, and it only uses it one time. Doesn't use it a whole bunch of times, but it only uses it for one time to hide. And just they take all these things, they don't do much with it, They just do it just to show for one time, Oh, it hit for thermal technology, you can do that. Ability to do this one time. Oh, it has the ability to camouflage, you can only do that one time. I mean, use it more, That would make it much more, for it to hide, or it can just stalk and prey and all that stuff. But it takes out the soldiers. And Chris Pratt's, saying, kill this thing, and that thing out there, that's not a dinosaur. And Claire realizes her nephews are out there, and the two kids, they go on these gyrospheres. And basically you can ride them anywhere, It's not like there's, like, a line, a rail to follow for a tour, So, it's not like the first Jurassic Park, with the Ford cars, they're automated and they have a rail line to follow to guide, right? But these gyrospheres, you can just go anywhere, just visit anything, even though it can be dangerous, though. So there's no line to follow through. So no, you can just go in, ride them anywhere. But the kids, the Indominus Rex gets there, it fights like an ankylosaur, and their gyrosphere gets knocked around like a pinball. Oh, before that, for the gyrosphere, the little video tells us about it. Oh, Jimmy Fallon is there on the TV. I'm like, I don't like Jimmy Fallon. I never thought he was funny anyway. Please get out of my face. Yeah, that's me though. I'm not a fan of Jimmy Fallon. I don't care for him. I never think he was funny. And him sitting right there, I was like, oh, please, Jimmy Fallon, get out of my face, please. I'm sorry. He to me, he's not funny. I'm sorry. And this with his talk show host and all that stuff, so I can go. It's the same thing with Jimmy Kimmel. I don't think he's not funny either. Jimmy, and they're both Jimmy, so I don't care for both Jimmys. Yeah, so I don't care for both Jimmys, both Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel. I'm sorry, they're not funny. That's just me though. Okay, this is me. But yeah, he's on the TV, and please get out of my face. But anyway, going back to the task at hand, they get knocked around like a pinball, and the Indominus Rex like picks up with his mouth, and the kids get out there, they jump in the river. Then Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, they arrive, and the only practical effect in the movie, the dying apatosaur. Yeah, they see a apatosaur that's dying. Yeah, the effect looks good, okay, but it's sad to say that's the only thing that's the only practical effect in the movie. Everything is poorly CGI'd. And that's another thing. Comparison, which I think is improved. They did better. I think they did more better effects here in Fallen Kingdom than in this movie. There was much more animatronic effects, which I appreciate, and for even the CGI, for a little bit, I thought it was a little bit done better than here. That's just me though. But yeah, that's me. The effects were handled both CG and practical effects were handled much more better here than in this film. Probably because they learned that there was not enough in this, so they decided to learn from mistakes and put more animatronics in here. And that's another thing that I give props to Fallen Kingdom, why I like that film. So, yeah, the only practical effect is the Dinosaur, it dies, and then it sees that it's killing for sport. It killed all the other dinosaurs and it's doing for sport. Which just reminds me of Predator, you know? Is it like the Predator hunting for sport? So, let's see. Well, the two kids, they find the old park, you know, the old building from the first movie. They find the old building, you know, the main hallway where it happened at the end of the first movie. They find the old banner that said when dinosaurs ruled the earth. They find the old banner there. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's called back to the first movie. Yeah, but I'd just rather watch the first movie. Yeah, I get it though. I know it's playing continuity. It's the same island from the first movie, but yeah, and yeah, they build a new attraction somewhere on the island. So that's the old island. Old island. That's the old building that's been abandoned. Yeah, I know. So because that was played in the first movie. So yeah, they find the old banner there. They're in the main hallway, and then they find the old. Well, of course, they're at the part where the kid picks up the night vision goggles that Timmy wore in the first movie. You know, the old night vision goggles. Yeah, the kid picks up one of those, and then they high wire one of the old Jeeps. One of the old Jeeps, yeah, from the first movie. Then Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt, they get there. Then Indominus Rex is there, and then the helicopter comes in where Masrani, Alfred Khan, he's flying it. And one of the soldiers has a Gatling gun. They shoot it and they don't hit nothing. It's a gigantic dinosaur, like, probably this is bigger than a T-Rex, and they can't freaking hit it. They don't hit jack shit. You can't hit jack nothing. is that big, and you're like shooting like behind it. I mean, come on, raise up a little bit and shoot it from the bottom. But hey, it's supposed to be like a typical dumb sci-fi monster movie, right? Yeah, it's a gigantic monster. It's a gigantic dinosaur, but you can't hit it. You're shooting like directly behind it. So then it gets into that pterodactyl place, or pteranodons to be specific name, pteranodons. They overwhelm the helicopter. It crashes. Irrfan, he dies, and then all the pteranodons, they fly over and they invade the park. Pick up a few people. Oh yeah, and you get a blinky miss cameo from Jimmy Buffett. You know, Jimmy Buffett, and he's holding 2 margaritas. Get it? His song Margaritaville. But like I said, it's a blink and you miss him cameo. If you can't tell, he's the one who's picking up these 2 margaritas when the pteranodons are attacking. Yeah, there's Jimmy Buffett for you. Yeah, he's probably drank too much in Margaritaville. And that is a good song, but I think trying to do it as a poke fun of this song. Because, oh, look, he's picking up margaritas. Get it? His song, Margaritaville. Like I said, it's a blinky miss, worthless cameo. You probably wouldn't even tell that was him anyway, if you were paying attention. And Chris Pratt, he doesn't do much. He gets there with some of the people. They shoot a couple of them, and he gets tackled by one of them, and he gets his ass saved by Bryce Dallas Howard. So then Vincent D'Onofrio, he works with the engine. He wants to weaponize the Raptor. He's using them as weapons to track down the Indominus Rex. So then you get this scene, when Chris Pratt is riding with the Velociraptors. Now, originally, when I saw the trailer, when the very first teaser, back in, if I remember, November 2014, that was the first teaser came out, I got excited for this scene. I really did, to be honest. I did. When seeing Chris Pratt on his motorcycle and he's riding with the 4 Raptors. Yeah, like Dino Riders. Can't remember the name, Dino Riders. Yeah. Yeah, so November of 2014 was when the first teaser came out for this film. And I remember at the end of that, I liked that scene. Now to me, it doesn't hold up as well. Sad to say. I mean, people still probably like that scene, though. Okay, that's good. I understand that. But to me, I think it has fallen. It doesn't hold to me. This whole film itself doesn't hold up well to me nowadays. Sad to say. But yeah, though everyone gets there, the 4 Raptors are chatting with the Indominus Rex, and they realize, oh, that thing is part Raptor. Yeah, you'd think. So yeah, then it makes them turn around, turns coat on them, takes out the team. This is the one guy that was with Chris Pratt earlier. And then Bryce Dallas Howard is driving an ambulance. 2 kids, one of the Raptors shocks it. And then when Bryce, and then to get to we found out that the BD Wong, Henry Wu, he's working with Vincent D'Onofrio. But he gets out there on a helicopter, and then Vincent D'Onofrio, he gets killed by one of the Raptors, bites his arm, and then you see a quick shot, a cut of a blood splatter on the wall. Blood splatter on the wall just reminds me of a slasher film or a monster movie like that, you know. Blood splatter on the wall. And then they have him cornered. The Indominus Rex gets there. The Indominus Rex gets pissed. It just swipes blue. Then it takes out the other 2 Raptors. One gets thrown in a grill fire, and then just chomped, thrown away. And then Bryce Dallas Howard, he gets that guy Lowry to open the gate. And which, by the way, another thing with that guy Lowry, because he's wearing one of the original Jurassic Park T-shirts, and early in that scene, Bryce Dallas Howard, Claire, she goes, "Says, oh, don't you think it's in poor taste?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, I know it was a horrible thing. People died there, and but that park was awesome, though." And then she goes, "Says, okay, please don't wear it again." So basically, the character Clara, she was basically spit in the face of the first movie. Basically, don't wear it. Oh, don't wear that. It's in poor taste. Yeah, basically spit in the face of the first movie. Basically, poor taste. I just wanted to do that. Yeah, don't you dare spit in the face of that movie. Don't you dare go there saying that. But I know though. But I'm just pointing. I was like, to me, it was like spit in the face of the first movie, basically. But that's the thing. Yeah, I didn't care for her character in this movie. I thought she was a little bit bitchy. But that's why in Fallen Kingdom, I thought she was less bitchy in this movie. So that's why her character improved in this movie than this movie. So yeah, did not care for her in this movie. I think she was a little bit bitchy, but here, less bitchy and more tolerable. More comparisons. So, but she gets Larry to open the gate, releases the T-Rex from the first movie. Which, if you want to point out, this is the T-Rex. This is the same T-Rex from the first movie. Kids probably see the scars it had from the Raptor's attack at the end of the first movie. Yeah. So yeah, people call on the internet, or they named the T-Rex Rexy, the T-Rex from the first movie. And then also, but wait, when it comes to before it fights the Indominus, it crashes through a skeleton of the Spinosaurus. So in other words, another spit in the face of the third film, because a lot of people don't like the third movie, and I'm sorry, I disagree with that. I love the third film. It's underrated, and people got so probably back in the day probably still thinking that the Spinosaurus killed a T-Rex. Really? Yeah. I think this film was trying to spin. Well, the only thing they didn't spin the face was the second film. But the third film, yeah, because it crashed through a Spinosaurus skeleton. Because Jurassic Park 3 was that bad. I disagree with that. I'm sorry about that. I love Jurassic Park 3. And yeah, the whole fight, yeah, even though it's a bad CGI fight, yeah. But the whole thing with the T-Rex and Blue the Raptor teaming up against the Indominus Rex, yeah, okay, cool. I will give it that, even though it's a big glorified CGI fest. Still. And then the Mosasaurus, the one from, this thing, the Mosasaurus, or the Mosasaur, I think it was Mosasaur, same thing. Yeah, that thing just goes and leaps out and grabs the Indominus Rex, in which I'm thinking, if that thing has a good range to jump out of the water like that, you think it would have a chance of grabbing anybody here in the audience right here if it has that good amount of range to jump out of the water like that? She need to raise these fences up a little bit more higher though, but no, this thing got a good amount. It can just jump out and pop out and just grab anybody in this audience right here, But hey, what do I know? I'm just thinking out loud here. But yeah, it just jumps out and just grabs the Indominus Rex. And then Chris Pratt tells Blue this, and then she goes away. And then it ends with the T-Rex, with the score. Oh, I forgot to mention the score by Michael Giacchino, who's done a lot of scores, including for a lot of recent scores, basically, for recently, like Doctor Strange, this film, as well as Fallen Kingdom, and then, he did for Rogue One. And he did for Incredibles 2. Was Disney Pixar's Up, and the Star Trek, for I think 2009 Star Trek. He's done scores for a lot of movies. And the score for this film, well, other than reusing John Williams' classic theme, though, but the score itself by Michael Giacchino, it wasn't bad. I mean, I did not mind the score that was playing at the end of the movie when the T-Rex goes and gives it one last roar. I did not mind that piece of music. But then, other than that, though, score. I mean, his score, I think it did better once again comparing, better in Fallen Kingdom, because I think his score added a little more horror theme to it, especially at the end, especially in the mansion, you know. See, it's just, but yeah, this film got a lot of hate from critics, you know, but people they give this one the pass. And the same thing, people didn't critics took a crap on The Lost World and Jurassic Park 3, but people don't like those movies, but they give this one a pass, and this one I felt was an improvement, but people still took a crap on this one. But yeah, this is a... But Michael Giacchino's score for the most part was not bad, but not great. But I didn't mind the piece that was at the play at the end of the movie. But just Jurassic World, to me, it's been within 4 years since it now came out, and within that 4 years' time as of right now, to me it doesn't hold up now. It doesn't. That's why this I thought I did much more things improvement over this film. And which ended up becoming my third favorite film of last year. I just felt it definitely improved. To me, it did. And let's see. But the effects doesn't hold up like it was. The effects doesn't hold up except for the one practical effect that was the dying dinosaur. The two kids I did not care for. I didn't care if they died. One was, you know, crying, and the other one was being a douchebag until the last one. I was like, all of a sudden, I'm not a douchebag no more. But to me, it's too late for that. Chris Pratt I like though, but he didn't give nothing to do. And to one point where Claire had to save his butt. Bryce Dallas Howard as Claire. Like I said, she was bitchy, and did not care for her at all. But that's why in Fallen Kingdom, where I thought I tolerated her more, and she acted less bitchy in that movie. That's why I thought I liked her character that improved in Fallen Kingdom more. But in here, no. Vincent D'Onofrio, for the most times, he plays a bad guy, for the most part, though. But I knew he would. What else? The dumb ideas, you know, with the whole... when they genetic engineered this Indominus Rex, all the DNA it came with, like, use all these things, they can hide from thermal technology, it can camouflage, but, yeah, it was only one time, though, but hey, but when it hit for the thermal technology and it was still in the cage, you know, they don't bother sharing, what this thing is made out of. I mean, you should know what this thing is made out of because you made the thing, and you're planning on to release this to the general public as the next new attraction. So it's like, you know, you're making a machine. You gotta work all the kinks out of it before you get to work. Get what I mean? Apparently not on this though, because you don't bother to tell what this thing is made of. That way you can figure out what goes on with this thing, because you're planning to release it to the public. No. So, and you know, the person in the helicopter they're going after with the Gatling gun doesn't hit jack shit because, you know, the guy can't shoot at it. It's a big giant dinosaur and you can't hit it. And what else are the dumb things? Trying to figure out more dumb stuff that's happened. But yeah, but they get the callbacks in the first film. Yeah, it's nice though, but I'd rather watch the first. Makes me want to watch the first one. But yeah, like I said, the show, because, you know, you want to be in continuity, that this is in canon to the first film, so you have to do that though. And Bryce Dallas Howard, I forgot to mention, like I said before, when the guy Larry's wearing one of the old shirts, he's saying, "Oh, that's in poor taste." Yeah, so basically spin the face of the first film. Yeah, that's right. Dumb. And yeah, this is definitely more of a review / rant, because I have a lot more problems. It just doesn't hold up well. So, but yeah, that's why my next review, Fallen Kingdom, which I say is an improvement. So, hope you look forward to my next review of that. So, but Jurassic World, yeah, I was still blown away how much this film made over an open weekend back then. But nowadays, and does it deserve to do that now? But it's whatever it is, what it is. So, but Jurassic World is definitely my least favorite in the franchise. But when it comes to Fallen Kingdom, I'm glad that Chris Pratt did more stuff, and Bryce Dallas Howard's character improved in the second film. So, and more stuff. It has more stuff going for it. So, yeah. But that's my review / rant on Jurassic World. To me, it doesn't hold up. Now, to me, not anymore. But I hope you'll stay tuned for my next review of this film. To me, I think is a much more improved sequel. Well, probably to not a lot of people, because some people say it sucks, but to me, I don't. I disagree with that. I guess I'd probably say this film sucks, and this is an improvement. But we all agree to disagree, though. But to me, better, worse. But I'm saying. But I say it's all my opinion anyway. So, but that's my / rant on Jurassic World. Stay tuned for my review of the sequel, which I'll gladly get into, Fallen Kingdom. Stay tuned for that, and we'll see you later.